Hello and welcome to the next 24 hours of my life. Okay, today we're gonna do a fun video that I've been wanting to do, honestly, forever. Even before I started my channel, this is something I just wanted to try to push myself to do regardless if it was for content or not. Although making content for it is much more fun than not. And that is a 24-hour readathon. Now, I'm a little nervous, I'm a little scared. Because one, it's already 8 p.m. at night. So that means I'll be reading until 8 p.m. tomorrow, which is daunting. Thing is, I don't think I can do a full 24-hour straight readathon where I am reading nonstop. I just don't think that's ever going to be a possibility for me. I fear that I have too many other little things going on that I just cannot be reading for that long straight, which is sad, but also, I mean, I feel like not a lot of people could do that. So what I'm gonna do is gonna start reading right now, read as much as I can. I'm pretty good at staying up late. I wish I had started this a little bit earlier in the day, but also I'm someone who is a night person. I'm a night owl. So staying up late isn't like a huge issue. But I don't want to stay up too late where tomorrow is going to be like a whole issue to wake up and actually do the things I need to do. But hopefully I can get a decent amount of hours in tonight, stop my watch, stop my timer, and then restart tomorrow once I wake up and continue reading. Like I said, there might be a few times throughout the day where I just have to pause my reading completely. I have to do a little bit of work tomorrow. I'm doing a few other things, but for the most part, I'm going to try to read the entire time. My other disclaimer is that I am going to definitely be using audiobook hours to supplement the time. And like I said, I cannot avoid this. I just have things to do. And so to try to continue reading throughout the 24 hours, I just need to do the audiobook time, which hopefully is fine. But I am very excited for that. I'm hoping that I'm going to get a lot of reading done and get through a few of my TBR books and just have like a fun experience doing this. I think it's really fun. I think my favorite part of making YouTube videos currently is just the challenges and, pushing myself to try to read more, try to read differently and diversely, and just find new ways to make reading a little bit more exciting. Not that it really needs it, because it's my favorite hobby and it's very exciting to me. So not that it's necessary. Okay, so I think those are all my disclaimers. Hopefully, maybe I'll have to say a few throughout too. But let me get started on telling you about what I will be reading in the next 24 hours. Okay, here is my TBR, which is crazy because if you have seen any of my other videos, I feel like you would know that I don't have a lot of physical books on my TBR just because I have a smaller space, a smaller bookshelf, etc. So the fact that I have this many books on my current TBR that are physical books on my TBR is impressive for me. And I'm pretty happy about that, but let's get into it. These are all books that I mentioned in my April TBR video and books I picked out, but I'll briefly tell you what I'm going to be reading and then also just my reading plans for the next 24 hours. Okay, so the first one is Agnes Obert's Mystical Cat Shelter, and this is about a woman who runs a cat shelter, but one day the shelter is damaged and she can no longer stay there, and so she's looking for a new place to live, and she stumbles upon a unit where the price and the deal and the neighborhood almost seems too good to be true, and that might be because it is, and because she has a magician who is doing illegal magic in the basement of the unit. So this I have been loving. I'm already like over 100 pages in, and also look at my mom got me this bookmark from someone from her work. I think we're selling them, but I thought this was the perfect bookmark. It has little cats all over it. And I noticed that like this little tassel kind of matches the cover, like the here and here. Is that just me? So I thought that was the perfect bookmark, but I've been loving this. So honestly, everything I've been reading, I've been loving so far. And I just love this. It's so cozy. It's so whimsical and sweet. And I love our main character. She's just very sweet, and like she cares so much about the cats in her shelter, which I feel like I can relate to, because when I was younger, wanted to work in an animal shelter, so much so that I emailed an animal shelter every single day until they finally agreed, because at the time I was really too young to even be able to volunteer like with the dogs or anything. But I emailed them so much that they finally agreed to let me come volunteer, and basically I just got to play with the cats in the shelter and clean up after them and feed them. And that was like my fun childhood activity, I guess. But yeah, so it's just really sweet. I think I will be reading this physically today. I think that is what we're gonna do for this book. That sounds confusing. I'll discuss more in a second. Okay, the next book is The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. This is one I have not started yet, but also look at these gorgy little purple sprayed edges. I feel like sprayed edges are a little bit controversial. I feel like some people love them and some people really dislike them, but I think they're fun and I think they're cute. But anyways, this is about a girl who has to return to her home, which I think is on an island, and she starts selling jam made with, like, I think they're magical berries, or the garden is made with magical spells or whatever. And then the jam shop becomes a secret spell shop for the people on the island, which I think is also illegal. I just realized that these are both like illicit secret magic operations, which I guess is my niche. I really like that. Like I said, I have not started this, so it will not be the first thing I gravitate towards. I kind of want to get through the books that I'm already in the middle of before I start something new. But if I so happen to finish all 3 of the other books that I'll be reading, this will be what I'm picking up. Okay, next I will be reading My Brilliant Friend by Elena Ferrante. This I'm more through it than this bookmark, because I'm reading this on, actually maybe I'm not, but I'm reading this also on audiobook. I started this on audiobook because I feel like with books that I'm a little bit intimidated by, and I'm intimidated by this a little bit just because it's lit fic and it's not usually the genre or story really that I gravitate towards, but I do want to, like I said, diversify, expand my horizons. This is supposed to be a really good book. It's on like New York Times best 100 of the decade or something. But so when I'm a little bit intimidated by a book, I feel like reading it on audiobook and also maybe doing like dual, like audiobook and physically reading at the same time helps a lot with that. I just makes it more digestible and like easier to understand for me at times. So that's what I'm doing with this, and I will be reading some of this on audiobook tonight. I have a huge pile of laundry looking me dead in my eyes right now that I need to get through, and this is going to help me. I also might possibly want to journal, and if I do that, I'm gonna want an audiobook to listen to get through my hours again. And this, again, I will be listening to this. This is about two women who live in 1950s Italy, and it is about their friendship. And the main character, Elena, is talking about their childhood together and how they grew up in their neighborhood and the dynamic between their relationship, which has been very interesting. So yes, like I mentioned, this will be my audiobook choice, and I will definitely be doing that when I do my laundry and stuff. So, and then finally I have Forget Me Not by Julie Soto. Hopefully you can see that on my Kindle. This is my Kindle read for the month, and it is a romance between Emma and Elliot, I think. And it is a second chance romance about Emma, who is a wedding planner, and Elliot, who is a florist who does weddings. And I started this a few days ago. In one night, I read 16 chapters. I was immediately hooked. Oh my god. I started reading this because 2 people, Books and Lala, who I feel like I always talk about her on this channel because I just love her videos, gave this 5 stars, which if you know her, she's not like a huge romance girl. So I feel like when she gives a romance or a fantasy or whatever, book that high of a rating, I'm intrigued to say the least. And then I was scrolling on TikTok a few weeks ago, and another girl who I'm not sure the creator, I've never seen her before, I should have screenshotted it, but she also gave it a 5 stars and said it was like one of her favorites. So I was like, okay, so intrigued, put it on my April TBR, ended up choosing it. It's so good. I can't even, I can't, the tension between them right now, they're basically, what's happening is that it's the formatting is so interesting too. Ooh, I love it. I love it. Okay, let me calm down. So the formatting is Amma in present time, where she is trying to plan a wedding for a really famous, I think she's an actress, and her fiance. And so it's a really big wedding for her. She's kind of recently, in the past few years, like gone out on her own to do weddings and not part of her company. And so this is like a huge deal for her. They want to use one specific florist, and it happens to be Elliot, which is Amma's ex-boyfriend. Elliot's chapters are 3 years in the past, when Amma and Elliot first met, and then following them through like the beginning stages of their relationships. At least that's where I'm at now. I'm sure I think it's probably gonna follow until like either they end their relationship 3 years in the past, or maybe presently. I'm not sure why that format is so perfect to me. I think it's because seeing all of Amma's like sadness, all of her kind of regrets and like feelings about the relationship after it's ended, and this kind of like still longing and connection that she feels for Elliot despite the fact that they are no longer speaking at all, and that this wedding will be the first contact they have in like over a year or two, I think, versus Elliot and his like first meeting with Amma and how they first like become friends and then more, and just the relationship and the way he talks about her. Oh, it has me stressed. It has me so stressed out. I'm like, please put aside your differences, talk this out, whatever. And so we still don't know why they broke up. I was getting stressed out. And at first, I kind of didn't like Elliot because he comes off very broody, but like almost more rude in a sense. But I feel like seeing him through his own chapters and through him telling us how, like, what he's thinking, how he's feeling about Amma, it makes a lot more sense, I guess. And I think it's definitely stemming way more from a place of like anxiety rather than like him just wanting to be rude, and like just how he is as a person, and like he's kind of awkward around people. And I love that. I don't know why. Oh, I love it. So anyways, after that was a really long description of what I'm reading. But for that one, so I think I'm going to prioritize Agnes Albert's Mystical Cat Shelter physically, My Brilliant Friend on audiobook, and then I'm really having mixed feelings. I really want to pick up Forget Me Not, but at the same time, I feel like I don't know if I'm mentally prepared, and also I almost don't want to like fly through it. I kind of want to savor it a little bit more and like have more time with it, because I just feel like I'm gonna like love it, and I don't want it to go by so quickly. But at the same time, like, it's a 24-hour readathon, and like I need to read the book and I have to get my time in. So I don't really know, but yeah, I think I am gonna prioritize Agnes Albert's Mystical Cat Shelter. If I happen to finish that and then need another physical book to pick up, maybe I'll choose that one, I think, before I start reading My Brilliant Friend physically. I think. We'll see, I guess. But okay, enough yapping. We've got to get down to business. I'm going to start folding my laundry and reading My Brilliant Friend on audiobook, and let's get the timer going. pause the timer really quick. We made it through like an hour, I think, about reading and listening to my audiobook. I put away my laundry and I got a little cereal snack. I'm the only person who loves a little late night cereal as a treat. Enjoyed that, then washed my face, put on my pajamas, and I am now drinking this really yummy tea I made. It's hibiscus tea, spearmint tea, ginger, lime, and then sparkling water and honey. And it's so good. It's very refreshing. Delish. And I feel like I needed a little sweet sip to get me through all my reading. And this is nice because it's not caffeinated and it's also doesn't have really any sugar in it. It's just honey. So I'm gonna enjoy that. But yeah, so I made it through. I'm on chapter 8 of the adolescent section. So this is broken up. This book is broken up into different sections. I was reading like the childhood section. Now I'm in the adolescent one. So let me just find where that is physically. See, like this is the adolescence section. Okay, now let's find chapter 8. I just want to see how many pages. Oh, past it. Okay, I'm just gonna go to the end of chapter 8 because I'm like halfway through it. So it's page 118. We were on chapter 14. It's on page 64, so I read around like 50-ish pages, 54 pages through audio. A little less than that because I'm at the end of chapter 8 and not the beginning, or not the middle, which is where I am in the audiobook. This book is pretty good so far. I didn't know what to expect going into it, and I still don't know what to expect. It really is just like the story of these two girls and their friendship. And I honestly really enjoy the writing, and I really enjoy how we are in the mind of Elena. I think that's her name, because that's the author's name, but now I'm like, it says the story of Elena and Leela, which is her name. But like, I feel like they never refer to her as like, I feel like they haven't said her name in the story. It is from her like point of view and her like musings, like her own dialogue and her, why can I not think of it? Her own, whatever, her own thoughts basically. But I'm really liking the way she describes things, because in the childhood section and now the adolescent section, she's just so, it's just a very real character, a very human character, a very relatable character. And just the way that she's describing like her youth and growing up, it just is so interesting, because I feel like even though this is the 1950s, 60s Italy, like I can relate it a lot to like my own childhood and just being like a girl. I feel like when you're friends with another girl in your childhood, like those connections are very strong and you have a very like strong pull towards your friends, and like they influence you so much more than you would even think. And it's really interesting to see her musings about her friendship, like she's looking back at it and not like, it's not necessarily in the moment. I don't think it's like her reflecting, and I think that's really interesting. She's like thinking about how these things affected her and how they shaped her own personality as a child and growing up, which I think is really interesting. And I feel like I do that too. I feel like I think about my childhood friendships and I think about the people in my life and how they've shaped me. So I do really like that aspect. I also really like, it reminds me of this quote that I love from Wuthering Heights from Catherine, where she said something along the lines of, I want to be a girl again, running like through the moors, half wild and free, or something. And I love that quote so much. It also reminds me, if you're a Swiftie, of the song 7 by Taylor Swift. Yeah, there's a line in the song 7 by Taylor Swift where she says, "Please picture me in the weeds before I learned civility. I used to scream ferociously anytime I wanted." Actually, reading the lyrics of this song, it is very much giving the vibes of this book. Like, I feel like it's all about, or at least where I'm at in the book, it's all about just being young and being a child and childhood friendships and kind of having that freedom and that just like care, like your things that you care about are so different. And I really like that. There's actually a chapter in the book where Elena and Leela travel out of their neighborhood for the first time, like without telling anyone during the school day. They like lied about where they were going and just go walking through this neighborhood to try to get to the ocean. And Elena, there's a part where she is talking about how this is reflecting back on it, this is the first time that she thinks she has ever felt freedom and not being like confined and having like a taste of something new and something unknown. And I just really liked that. I really liked that description, and I love the way, I just love that the frame we're getting this through is like her being so young and like experiencing all these things for the first time. There's also some really interesting sections of the book that we're in right now. As she's in adolescence, she's growing into her body and like hitting puberty, and there are some interesting conversations being had about that. Like, for instance, like she, you know, is like I said, like going through puberty, kind of becoming more of like getting more grown-up features and like growing breasts and like all these things, and she begins to notice how that affects her relationships with men, how women are treated and girls are treated when they begin to have these features. And they're just having such interesting conversations around it, even at such a young age. I think she's only supposed to be 12 or 13, and they're already discussing, like, I guess, what it means to have that kind of figure, and if that's wanting attention from men, or if that's, like, attracting attention from men on purpose or just by default. So I think it's really interesting. It very much just feels like a letter to every young girl. Like, I feel like most young women have very similar experiences to what she's experienced in the book. Even her discussing like how she's kind of jealous of her best friend, and also very inspired and like in love with her best friend as well. And so I think that's really an interesting story. I am trying to decide whether I want to continue reading this on audiobook and journal, because I do really want to journal. I just don't know, because I feel like journaling might take a long time. But I mean, I gotta get my 24 hours anyway, so I guess I might as well. Or if I want to start reading physically. So I'm gonna ponder, and I guess if the next clip is me journaling, then you've got your answer. And if it's not, then oh well. We're now 4 hours in, basically, to our 24-hour readathon. I have been reading My Brilliant Friend, and let me reach. I'm now on chapter 21 in the adolescent section. I just updated it not long ago, but okay, yeah. So I am now. Where is it? I just saw 22. Okay, so I'm 172 pages in. I honestly forgot what I was at before. I think it was like 150 or 160, so like 20-ish pages, which is like, I think almost halfway. I think this is only it's like about 300 pages, a little over that. Looks like, wait, let me see. Looks like about 331 pages, so a decent way through. And I did end up journaling. I am doing a journal page inspired by the bell jar quote that's like, I see my life like forming and branching off like the branches of a fig tree, or something like that, something equivalent to that. And I've seen other people do this on like Pinterest and stuff, so this is not a unique idea, but they'll like draw or just like take a picture of a fig tree, and then they'll just like kind of attach like all the different like careers and like paths in their life that they could potentially take, like stuff they're interested in. And I just think that's a cool art and a cool way to look at things, because I feel like I have a lot of things in my life that I'm like, oh, I wish I could do this, or I could do this. And I think it's also a way to remember that, you know, just because I'm in one path of my life now doesn't mean that I can't branch off and do something later. So I started that. I like drew it and then outlined it, and now I'm coloring it. So this is where I'm at. Might be hard to see, it's a little dark right now. And I'm liking it so far. I did mess up this stupid freaking leaf right here. I don't know if you can tell, but because it was dark, my ring light died, which was what I was kind of using as light. And I went to color it in, and I accidentally colored it in blue instead of green. And honestly, I'm really, really pissed about that. I might have to like cover that up or something, or try to fix it better. But I really like this color, and this came out okay. I kind of wish it was a little cooler toned and not so warm toned. I think I can fix that, but yeah, so this is my little fig tree. I think I'm gonna put like the little thing, like my other things that I would like to do, other careers, other paths, whatever, like either under or around or something. And then I'll probably like do a nice little note to myself here. And then I wrote my fig tree down here. This has been really fun to do. And I feel like I haven't done as much just like drawing and journaling. Like I've done more of like collaging, which has been really fun. I didn't show these. I should go back and show these with the ring light. Obviously really fun, but I just kind of miss doodling and doing stuff like that. Anyways, that being said, I am getting a little tuckered out, a little tired. It's midnight. Like I said, I'm pretty good at staying awake though. So my plan, I think I'll finish this chapter, maybe do one more, maybe. TBD. I'm getting a little tuckered out from this story too. It is really good, and honestly I am liking it way more than I thought I was going to, and I really do like the relationship between Elena and Leela. However, at this point it is getting slightly repetitive. It is kind of like Elena being like, I am competing with Leela to be smarter, to be number one, but she's still kind of beating me at these things, and like yada yada. So which is it is interesting, but I think at this point it's getting repetitive. I feel like it'll continue to grow and develop, and so I just need to hold out and continue reading, and I am enjoying it. But I think I'm ready to switch to something else, so I will be reading Agnes Obert's Mystical Cat Shelter next. I'm very excited to start that, and yeah, I think that's it. I think I'm just gonna go brush my teeth, get to bed, and start reading that. Updating you from my bed. Gato is also updating you. And by updating you, I mean yelling at me to go to sleep. Yeah. Anywho, so I got to 18 hours and 56 minutes and 37 seconds. And unfortunately, I'm quite tuckered out. Usually I'm way better at staying awake, but I'm pretty tired. So I think I'm going to call it for now. I did read to page 218 in this book, and look, he matches the cover. So handsome. And it's been really good. I'm really enjoying it. It's just so cute, very cozy. It's like exactly the type of story and light romance that I kind of love. So I'm excited to pick it back up tomorrow and continue my reading. But good night for now. Good morning. Okay, we are back in business. Last night I finished up with reading Agnes Obert's Mystical Cat Shelter. I don't know why I always want to say Agnes. It's not the name. Really loving that so far. Very cute. I read like several chapters, but I only made it to like 18 hours, or I mean I got down to 18 hours. And as much as I am liking it, I think I probably should have read Forget Me Not, because with Agnes Obert's whatever, I'm not like dying to get to the next chapter. It's just like a fun, light, cozy read, but there's not really anything that I'm like, I need to know when this is gonna happen. So I'm not like flipping through. I feel like I should have read Forget Me Not, because I probably would have stayed up later, and because I want to get to the point where they're like back in love and in love with each other and like stop being mean to each other. So I want to get to that point. So I feel like when I read it, I'm like, I can't put it down, but whatever, what can you do? Maybe I'll read that after I'm done my other things I have to do today. I don't know. I just like don't want it to end, honestly. But anyways, so my plans now are I'm gonna make breakfast. I'm pretty hungry. I want matcha, all the things, and I do have to work a little bit, so
I'm going to do all those things, but I'm going to listen to my audiobook at the same time, obviously. And then after that, I will go back to my physical book, and I'll either do Agnes O'Bright's or Forgetting That, or maybe even The Spell Shop. I kind of want to start something new, but I feel like 2 cozy fantasies back to back at the same time might not be the best, just because they're probably decently similar. But I do want to start something new, kind of. I feel like I need something a little bit more action-packed and thrilling right now. Like I might pick up like a thriller or a horror right now, because I feel like I get through those pretty quickly. But TBD, because I do want to get through this is like already my set TBR for the month, and I don't want to like start a new book and then not finish one of those, you know? We'll see. Okay, but anyways, let's start the timer back up. Okay, hello, I'm back with an update. Let me pause my little timer. Oh gosh. Okay. We are down to 14 hours and about 30 minutes, which sounds crazy, that we're not even like halfway through, but it's okay. I had to do more work than I thought I was going to, and I kind of was doting around and just doing other things. I was on Pinterest for a little bit, and I made my breakfast, yada yada. So anyways, that's all to say that I've been listening to a lot of the audiobook, My Brilliant Friend. I'm now on chapter 53, which I don't have let me grab it. So I read 122 pages today, and I think I was going to, after I was done eating, done my work, done my other stuff, going to get back into my physical book, but now I only have, I think like an hour left of the audiobook. Yeah, 59 minutes. So what I think I'm going to do is I've been meaning to just go through my, oh my God, got this stretching really cute. Go through my clothes, like my closet. I went through my closet already, so now it's pretty much just my drawers of like, I have all my skirts and my t-shirts in drawers, and then like some other stuff. And I'm doing a little spring cleaning and getting rid of a bunch of stuff. I already have like 2 huge tote bags of stuff that I'm getting rid of, and I think I'm going to continue doing that for the last hour of my book and finish the audiobook, which is good because I'll be glad to finish it. Again, we're getting through my hours, but also I know that I'm going to my boyfriend's house later, and I'm gonna want an audiobook like while traveling, so I can like keep the hours going and not stop reading. So I'll have to find another one. My thoughts are either I'll start with The Spell Shop on audiobook and do like tandem reading, or I'll just do a completely other book on there. Maybe like I said earlier, like pick up a thriller or a horror, something that's, gonna really hold my attention. That's the plan. This has been really good. I'm actually kind of surprised at how much I like it, which is funny. It's just that for me, lit fic is just, a lot of times I just don't understand the point of a plot, because there's not much of a plot in lit fic, in my opinion. Like the plot is just the characters living their life, and that has not been my cup of tea for as long as I've been a reader, pretty much. Actually, that's not true. I feel like I used to like those when I was younger. But like in the past few years, I just really love like an action-packed thriller, horror, fantasy, romance plot where a lot of things are happening and whatever. So I think that's what's really made me stay away from lit fic. But I think this is definitely changing my tune a little bit. I've been liking this a lot more, just following the lives of these girls and being in Elena's head and understanding her relationship and the dynamics of not only her friendship with Leela, but also her relationship with all these different characters in her neighborhood, her family, the men, the other girls, the teachers, has been pretty interesting. And yeah, so I have been liking this, and I'm excited that I'm finally getting to it. So I think I'm going to continue listening to this. Also though, I'm getting really sleepy. I think it's because I went to bed late, then woke up this morning. I did have a matcha, but I feel like I'm gonna need like a Diet Coke or something. So I might grab one of those from my fridge and sip on that. But yeah, other than that, I'm ready to get back into reading and hopefully finish this audiobook right now. done with my little clean out. I have a pile of clothes I'm getting rid of, and then a pile of clothes that I'm going to try on and see if they're worth keeping or not. And this is everything I'm keeping. This is like crazy. The organization down here is kind of weird. It's like my shorts, my skirts, and my t-shirts. Yeah, that's just how it worked out. And I have such a hard time getting rid of my skirts. I love skirts. I would wear a skirt every day if I could, probably. And I have so many, and I love them. And they're like, whenever I go through my closet, like, skirts are the thing that I can never let go of. So I'm probably keeping more than I need. I definitely am. I don't care. Sorry, whatever. But yeah, definitely made a little leeway. I knew this was going to be the thing that, like, I would give away the least from, and the pile of clothes that I'm going to try on. I feel like I'm going to end up keeping a lot of it too, but what can you do? Then I'm going to go through my, like, tank tops, going out tops drawer, and then I think I'm done because I went through my closet already a few days ago. But that's my little update in case you care about my closet clean out. And I'm now on chapter 58, and I have 28 minutes left of this book. So let's finish it up. What, you had something to say? Oh, bye-bye. Okay. We're down to 13 hours, and we've officially finished the first book of my little 24-hour readathon. I'm very happy about that. I've just finished My Brilliant Friend by Elena Ferrante. So what the hell? What the hell? Yeah. Why did it end like that? Hello? Why did it end like that? I was expecting to see them post Leela getting married, post them in adolescence, and it turns out, I looked it up, that this is a series. I have beef. This is a series, and then the next book, the next few books, I think, take place after they are grown-ups. I don't know. Okay, here's the thing. I did really enjoy it. I really liked their story. I really liked them as characters, honestly. Like, they're very compelling, interesting, real characters to me. Am I going to pick up the next book? Maybe. Honestly, maybe. Because I did really enjoy this, but at the same time, it wasn't, for me, life-changing. It's just, like, I kind of just want to know what happens, like, with Nino and Elena, and, like, with Leela, and if she, you know, does anything beyond being, like, this housewife that she's kind of demoted herself to being, despite the fact that she's obviously very smart. And also, like, if Elena has, like, gets a job with writing, if she continues to do that, she's obviously very smart as well. So, like, that would be cool to see her expand and grow past being an adolescent. I think they're only 16 or 17 at this point. I would love to see them as adults and see how they've changed. So I feel like there is a good chance I'll pick up the next one. I'm just, like, a little bit annoyed that I didn't know it was going to end like that on her wedding. I don't know. This was good. This was interesting. I don't really know what to rate it. Yeah, I don't know what to rate it. It doesn't give me a 5-star feeling, but it doesn't give me a 3-star feeling. I could give this a 4, I think, because I feel it was very well written. The characters felt very, very real, very authentic. So for all those reasons, and I was, like, intrigued enough in the story to, like, read it all and want to read the next one. So maybe a 4, I'd say. But I'm also, like, not obsessed with this. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not, like, this is the best book ever and I'm going to be thinking about it forever and, like, recommending it to everybody. But I'm not. I don't know. That doesn't make sense. Anywho, so I finished this. Realized I was like, my audiobook ended. I was like, what the hell? Then I was like, okay, I had to quickly find another audiobook because I was still cleaning and wanted to keep reading while my clock was going down. So I did start The Spell Shop just because I didn't want to spend time looking for something else when my clock was going down. So I started that. I'm literally only on the first chapter, and I can already tell that the audiobook is probably not for me. It feels like very like the voices, like I think make the story feel very like juvenile, which like I don't know, maybe it'll be the same if I read it myself like physically, but like I feel like it wouldn't be. I don't know if that makes sense. So I don't know if I'm going to stick with the audiobook. I might for now, just because I still need to shower and I was going to listen to something in the shower. But I was also going to say maybe I'll look at my other, I'm opening my Canva, my other things that I had on my TBR this month that I didn't end up choosing that I could potentially read instead. The only thing is there's 2 issues. First of all, I don't want to start another book and not finish the books that I had chosen for my TBR. I don't think that'll happen. I'll definitely still read The Spell Shop and the other 2 books I'm in the middle of. But I'm just like afraid like spending time on another book before I finish my actual TBR is gonna push it back. I know that probably sounds silly, but that's just what I'm thinking. The second issue is that the book that I really, really, really wanted to read this month that would have not been on my like chosen TBR would have been The Caretaker by Marcus Clearer, who did We Used to Live Here, and I would have loved to do this on audiobook because it's a horror like thriller. And I love doing horror thrillers on audiobook, but it's not out yet. I'm literally so freaking mad. Let me just check, just in case. I don't know, maybe there's a glitch and it actually is out, but no. That's so sad. Okay, so that's a bummer because I really, really, really want to read that. But whatever. So my other options, I could do Bat Eater and Other Names for Lola Zhang, which is another horror. I could do that on audiobook. I could do How to Get Away with Murder by Rebecca Philpson, which this is also a new release. I don't think I mentioned it in my TBR. It's about a like Scottish Yard detective who retires, but then I think comes back because there's a person who wrote a book called like How to Get Away with Murder, and there is a real life serial killer taking all the advice from that book and applying it in real life to kill people. So I feel like that sounds interesting. And then those are the only 2 horror I have on here really. There's also Wolfworm by T. Kingfisher, which I could do. And then the other I think option I could do for a audiobook is Carl's Doomsday Scenario, which is like the second book to the Dungeon Crawler Carl series, which I've heard is really, really good on audiobook. I read the first one physically, but apparently the audiobooks are like, you gotta do that. So I'm kind of leaning towards Bat Eater, and then maybe How to Get Away with Murder as number 2, because I do want to do a horror. So maybe I'll just listen to the first chapter of both and then decide, because I don't really know what I want out of the 2. I just want another good audiobook. Although after I'm done my shower, I think I'm done with all my like non-sit down activities, and I'm going to read physically and go back to Agnes Albert's Mystical Cat Shelter. So we'll be done for the audiobook for a little bit until I have to like travel again. Well, not travel again, but like travel to my boyfriend's house, and I'm probably going to be in the Uber or in the car or on the train, whatever, for like an extended, it's like an hour. So I'm definitely going to need an audiobook for that time, and then while I shower. So let's decide right now. Okay, we are now, as you can see, officially more than halfway through the readathon, which I'm very excited about. And I've officially finished one book, My Brilliant Friend by Elena Ferrante. And now I decided to choose another audiobook. I needed another one while I was just taking a shower, getting ready, eating food, all that stuff. I didn't want to stop reading. So I did download one. And also for when I'm traveling, I'm going to be staying with my boyfriend this weekend. So it's like an hour trip over there, and I want something to listen to. But I'm really liking it so far. I read this actually because I feel like I'm not describing it well, but Cora Zhang is a crime scene cleaner washing away the remains of brutal murders and suicides in Chinatown. The bloody messes don't bother her, not when she's already witnessed the most horrific thing possible, her sister being pushed in front of a train. Before fleeing the scene, the murderer whispered 2 words, Bat Eater. Months pass, the killer is never caught, and Cora can barely keep herself together. She pushes away all feelings, disregards the bite marks that appear on her coffee table, and won't take her aunt's advice to prepare for the Hungry Ghost Festival. That's what it's called. When the gates of hell open. That's Hungry Ghost Festival, when the gates of hell open. Cora tries to ignore the rising dread in her stomach, even when she and her weird coworkers begin finding bat carcasses at their crime scene cleanups, but Cora can't ignore the fact that all their recent cleanups have been bodies of East Asian women. Soon Cora will learn you just can't ignore Hungry Ghost. So I'm intrigued to see how that storyline plays out. But like I said, now I'm actually going to go back to my physical book, because I'm finally getting time to like sit down and not have to do other things. So that is going to be what I'm doing now. I forgot to pause this. Okay. Well, in the 5 minutes I was filming, we're just going to have to, sorry, I guess that doesn't count. Whoops. Yes, anyways, I'm going to go back to my physical book, and I'm currently on, I'm currently on page 218, chapter 25, and this is like, it's not that long of a book. Let me see. Yeah, so it's only 353 pages. I'm hoping that I will finish this today. I mean, I have 11 hours left, so like I would definitely will finish this within the time allotted. I'm just thinking of like when I'm gonna leave and such, so I probably will read for about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, and then probably go back to my audiobook while I'm traveling. But let's get into this. Also, I have prepared a little snack. I just had like dinner. I mean, it's like 5:30, but I usually eat a lot later. I made chia seed pudding that I haven't had yet, and this is like mangoes, and yeah, I did put a little Nutella in there because I'm a Nutella fiend. But okay, enough chit chat. Let's get back to the timer and get back to our reading. From a new location. I bet you didn't think this 24-hour readathon was going to be so mobile. Oh, hold on. Tripod is slipping. This tripod kind of sucks. Okay, hopefully that stays. There's several more chapters of Bat Eater and Other Names for Cora Zhang while I was like in my Uber to the train station, and then in the train station and traveling here. So I'm now on chapter 13. I'm really enjoying it, although it is slightly different than I thought it was going to be. I think I was mixing it up with The Eyes Are the Best Part a little bit, because I thought it was going to be kind of more revenge plot, but it's actually more, I think, like a ghost supernatural plot, which I love just as much, so that's totally fine. And I'm really liking the characters, the cast characters. Cora, obviously, but her two, she's like working with her two coworkers to kind of help her after the death of her sister. And I really love them. I feel like they're really funny and like such a good trio, all three of them. And I really, really like their dynamic. That being said, it's time to finally get back into my physical book that I'm very excited about. I was like thinking about this the entire time I was in train, honestly. And I don't think I mentioned this, but I don't really read physically on train, bus, whatever, cars, because I get really bad motion sickness and it's just not fun. So that's why I stick to just audiobooks mainly. Like every once in a while, if I take like a Dramamine or something, I could do my Kindle maybe. But for some reason, I don't know, it doesn't work out for me. But I was thinking about this the entire time because I just got to a really good point in it and I just wanted to keep reading it. So that's what I will be doing now. Also, while I was on the train and listening to Bat Eater and Other Names for Cora Zhang, I like made a fun themed Pinterest board for Agnes Obert, which I haven't done in like a really long time. But just like it helps me a lot to like visualize the characters. I have like, it's a secret board on Pinterest because I don't want it to like mess up my other stuff. But I need to know what the characters look like. Otherwise, it like, I don't know. I just get like stressed out. Not stressed out. I just get like it's just like so much more fun when I can like visualize exactly what they look like. It's so much easier to be put in the scene. So I like spend a decent amount of time if I really like a book being like typing in their features and then putting in like face claim on Pinterest so I can like save a photo of them into a board and like refer to it. And I did that for this, and I added some other like just like aesthetic photos that like go with the story, which I haven't done in a while, and that was just really fun. But yeah, I'm gonna get into this. I have, let's see, I just paused it to start talking to you, but I have 7 hours left and 30 minutes basically, which is crazy. I fear this might become a 3-day event, just because it's already 9. I don't know how much I'm gonna, like, again, I could probably say up to like 1 or 2, but like that's not enough. So I think maybe it'll be a 3-day event, which I don't know if next time I do one of these videos, I will have to do it like when there's nothing else going on and I can just stay home and read physically. I did not think there was going to be so much like audiobook time, which was not what I wanted, but c'est la vie. Honestly, this is fun for me because I'm just challenging myself to basically read as much as I can. I haven't been like on my phone scrolling barely at all today. Like, okay, I had a few little 10-minute breaks of me scrolling, but I wasn't on the timer, so it doesn't count. It doesn't matter. But for the most part, I've just been like literally back to back reading or listening to my audiobook, which I love. So, oh, and my ring light just died. Okay, well, I was just gonna say, let's start reading. What'd she say? She's talking about her daughter.
She said she's sweet, she didn't have a mean bone in her body. And then the girl was like, is that why she's not here now? And she said, yeah.
Damn. I just finished this. I loved it. I think I would give this 5 stars, honestly. It was just so fun. It was so cute. I loved the relationship. I loved the relationship between Agnes and Havelock in this so much. Oh my god, he was so sweet and aloof and awkward. I love that. I just love that. And then he literally loved the magic system in this. I think it's really, really cool. I'm trying to think of what it reminds me of. But I can't totally place it. I feel like it just like gives the vibe of something I've read before, like in my like maybe childhood or something. I don't know. Not Harry Potter. I feel like I've seen other people relate this to Harry Potter. I'm not really getting those vibes, but I just love this so much. I just love it so much. This was so sweet and so cute, and I hope this is a series. It feels like they potentially have set it up for that. So I'm really, really hoping that there is a second one in this series, because I know that she did the Encyclopedia of Fairies, which was like a 3-part series. I would love that for this. I would love that. I really, really hope she does that. Oh, this is so fun. Okay. Anyways, moving on. So I'm trying to be in frame. I've got 5 hours left. So I think I'm gonna read my other book and finish that, maybe. I think I have 2.5 hours left though, so that'll be like 3 a.m., which is a little spooky scary. But I'm gonna try to start reading that and see how far I get tonight. I might finish. If not, this is gonna be a 3-day situation, but cross my fingers that I at least get that done, because then I'll be, actually I think this is gonna be a 3-day situation regardless. Anyways, let's stop yapping. Let's get back to reading. Very late. It's 2:11, and I unfortunately still have, hold on, 3 hours and 40 minutes left. But I think I am gonna call it for the night. I'm gonna pause and resume tomorrow, and finish my last 3 hours. I definitely think I'm gonna be able to finish this tomorrow. I'm just enjoying it so much that I didn't want to rush through it all tonight when I'm getting tired. So I'll be finishing tomorrow and it'll be fine and it'll be great. And yeah, I'll see you then. Hello, I'm coming to update you from a unconventional angle because I'm trying to get the good lighting. Sorry, but I am in bed. It's the next day. Honestly, I've already been doing quite a few things today. I had a family birthday that I went to earlier. So I listened to more of my audiobook while I got ready, while I drove over there, and while I drove back. And I'm really loving where I am right now in my audiobook. So now that I'm back home, I've got 2 hours and 20 minutes left. Can you see that? Yeah. I honestly think I'm gonna listen to a few more chapters on audiobook and then switch back to my Forget-Me-Not book, my romance book on Kindle, because I kind of just want to hang out on Pinterest and listen to the audiobook. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm all cozy in bed, and yeah, I'm just going to hang out on my iPad and iPad baby it out for a little bit while I listen to my audiobook. Okay, we're in the final stretch. I've got, let me see, 1 hour and 30 minutes left. And I think I have about an hour and 30 minutes-ish left of my Kindle book. So let's finish that together right now. Okay, I need to pause for a second and just say that I love this man. I love him. Oh my God. I just love how aggressively protective Elliot is with Amma. It's so sweet. And like, not aggressive in a bad way, but he's just like for instance, she was just in an interview for her wedding that she's planning is being filmed for like the celebrity. And they're asking her all these questions about her personal life, about her mom, who's like been married a bunch of times, which she's like kind of embarrassed by. And Elliot just like steps in because she's obviously overwhelmed. He's basically like, you do not need to be asking her those questions. Like, that's not what we're here for. And then I think he literally just paid the cameraman off to give him the SD card from that interview. Yeah, I love that. Anyways, let me get back to it. This book has me kicking my feet and giggling throughout the entire thing, basically. Anyways, she just broke her fucking foot during go time. It is the wedding day, literally the wedding day, an hour till wedding starts. And she broke her foot. Oh my God. As a Capricorn, this is a freaking nightmare. Oh my God, this would kill me. But now Elliot is taking over as the wedding planner for her. I think this solidifies my love language as acts of service, potentially, because no words. Okay, well, as you saw it, my timer is officially done, but I still have 15 minutes left in my book, so we're gonna keep reading. Okay guys, we have officially made it to the end of this 24-hour readathon. I had so much fun doing this, and I do apologize for it being like a 3-part situation instead of just one day and like a straight 24 hours. Again, would love to do that someday. But I had so much fun. I was able to finish 3 books. Yeah, 3 books and start 2 new ones. So I think that's pretty good. I'm pretty proud of that. I'll have to talk more about the last book I just read in my wrap up for the month, but I think it was a 5-star. The only thing I can say is that I need a better, what's it called, epilogue. I just need more from this couple, and I need to know what they're doing. And I hope there's like a, what's it called, and a bonus chapter somewhere, because I need it. But yes, like I said, I had so much fun. I know it was definitely not as stationary as a lot of 24-hour readathons were. I was bopping around a lot. But thank you so much for staying with me for these past 24 hours. I hope you had as much fun as I did with all my reading. And thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.